I had a new listener ask me if I would please explain my beliefs about God, religion, and Jesus. Well, my beliefs are so far outside of both Christianity and atheism that it's on very few people's radar yet. But let me explain my unfiltered, heretical beliefs that would have gotten me burned at the stake less than 200 years ago. Welcome everyone, I'm Danny. I grew up in Bible-believing Christianity, went to Bible college and into the ministry, and for nearly half a century I was a devout believer until it wasn't working for me anymore and I left Christianity, left Jesus too because I thought he was a Christian and wouldn't have anything to do with me if I left his religion. And through meditation and Eastern and indigenous wisdom, I learned that there's a different way of looking at Jesus, a different story than the one that I had been taught growing up. And by studying a little bit of history, I realized the story of Jesus was twisted to become the story of Christianity and was written by the 4th century church state for the purpose of unifying our minds into a belief system that allows a 1% political and religious elite to live lives of wealth and power by controlling the minds and the lives of the bottom 99% from us accepting their belief system. In the 4th century, they gave us the doctrine of original sin, which is the most evil lie, the most damnable heresy ever. In my humble opinion, at least. Did I mention it was an evil lie? Because the story programs our mind as innocent children to believe that we're born guilty and corrupted because of a talking snake, so God is going to torment us forever, but we deserve every second of torture throughout all eternity because God is holy, and we didn't believe the story the elites gave us. But wait, there's good news to the story. Because the 4th century political and religious elites who wrote the story tell us there is one way out of our terrifying eternal future. We can convert to Christianity as the emperor mandated all citizens of the Roman Empire to do. And we accept this belief system by taking the name and identity of Christian and participating with other believers in celebrating the sacraments, the holy days, traditions, reciting and believing the creeds, and pledging our lives to the church, and bringing our newborn babies to be baptized and initiated into the belief system. Oh wait, I almost forgot to tell you, the story tells us that God loves it when we give him 10% of our income by giving it to the elites who administer the system so that they can spend it for God. Well, the Emperor Constantine the Great, in partnership with Christian leaders, gave us this belief system 300 years after Jesus. And 50 years later, the Emperor Theodosius signed an edict that every citizen of the Roman Empire was to convert to Catholic Christianity or face whatever punishment the state decides, which evolved centuries later into the Evil Inquisition period, where those deemed heretics or unbelievers were tortured, imprisoned, or burned at the stake by these elite administrators of the system. Now, the system is self-perpetuating as is passed from parent to child. We're born into the perceived reality created by the system. And as long as the system can continue to instill guilt, shame, and fear into our consciousness, beginning at birth, well, the system will live on, continuing to control the lives of good-hearted people who struggle, while the elite 1% live lives of wealth, power, and prestige. And until we see how the system they establish works to imprison our minds into their belief system, we will continue to cling to the system as our life raft, along with other good-hearted, salt of the earth believers, all believing it to be our truth and our identity. And the unconscious fear that the system gave us of questioning the beliefs of the system, it prevents us from seeing any possibility other than the system itself. So there in a nutshell are my beliefs. But when I saw the system and I left the system, and then I began to look at Jesus outside of the system, I saw a beautiful, non-religious, no belief required Jesus who came much more to set us free from our religious indoctrination and from the elites than to start another religion. And if you like this, well, go ahead and subscribe, share this message, and thank you for watching.